now we are in for a treat. One of my good friends in Toastmasters is doing I don't call it a workshop, but I'll leave it to him to tell you what he's going to do. David is almost a professor of humour, if there was such a thing, and he'll tell you his story, but he put so much effort into it, and I don't know anyone who enjoys it as more as David. So please welcome David Bart.
Thank you, Michael. If we can get a light on 6, 8 and 10, that'd be great. Perfect. So Michael and I had a bit of a chat, and I thought I'd come and do a little bit of stand-up comedy for you. I got a redundancy last year in February, so I haven't worked. So it's given me a lot of time to learn about stand-up comedy, which is a passion because we need more humour in the world. I've written 260 jokes since September last year, and I've performed at an open mic night 40 times. After I do some jokes, it's important that you laugh, because then I'll feel good. And at the end of my talk, I'll have a form. If anybody wants me, I'll just get you put your name down, email address, and I'll share some of the links that I've used. I've looked at hundreds and hundreds of links and documented what I learned from those links. But I'll share those links, the ones that I think are the best, if you're interested in learning a bit more about doing stand-up comedy. And this can really help a lot of your speeches. And you learn to, move that out of the way. These little things that you learn along the way get you to think quite differently. Even during the table topics tonight, someone was talking about waiters, and it just occurred to me, when I go to a particular restaurant, I feel like a waiter. I'm waiting a lot more longer than the guy bringing the food. So it's just that sort of thing. Most people look at things from this perspective. In comedy, we look at it from a different perspective, and that's what brings it here. So, hi, I'm David, but a lot of people confuse me with Glenn Robbins. I think it's because I'm clumsy like Russell Coight. And movie stars, have you ever noticed that they've got $1 million smiles? Have they? I haven't. I've got a $17,680 smile. Now, I didn't get any work done. I just added up the cost of all the toothbrushes and toothpaste I want to use in my life. Now, that sounds like a lot, but check out their smile. Now, as people get older, a lot of people fear age discrimination, and they try and hide their years. Not me. I'm happy to share with everybody that I'm 48 years and 120 months. The accountants in the room should get that. A lot of people use the term break a leg when they want to wish good luck to actors. I can assure you that breaking a leg is definitely not good luck. There's the agonising pain of the break. There's the inconvenience of the cast and the crutches. And those incessant questions, how did you do it? How did you do it? In 30 years of competitive soccer, I broke 2 legs in consecutive years. But lucky for me, neither was mine. I was pottering around in the garage at Christmas, and I tripped over, and I fell hard. It took a while till I got up. I looked around, the floor was completely clear. I had no idea what I tripped over. I tell you, that's the last time I'm buying shoes from New Balance. Now I need to do more work. I wanted to be a doctor when I was younger, but I never had the patience. Now it's getting cold, we're coming into winter, but how hot was it at summer this year? It was hot, wasn't it? Did you guys all feel the heat? Mm-hmm. It was so hot at my place that 7 of my chickens laid boiled eggs. And as we're coming into autumn and winter, how amazing are deciduous trees? You know, they lose their leaves every year. Can you imagine if the hair on a human head was like deciduous leaves? Then people would only be bald for 6 months a year. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Sorry. Now, I'm really angry with supermarkets. They're liars. Who shops at Aldi? A couple. And Coles? And Woolworths? Yeah, most people would. Woolworths are the biggest liars. The biggest. On their website, they state that racism of any form towards staff, customers, suppliers and others will not be tolerated or accepted. That's bullshit. It's completely a lie. Have you seen the price difference between the red capsicums and the green capsicums? That's clearly discrimination based on skin colour, isn't it? Do you guys ever put anything off?
Yeah.
Anybody? A few? Yeah, I see. I do it all the time, so obviously you're going to have to come back another time to hear more. So that's how I end a lot of the shows. So I've had the opportunity to do it 41 times. I've really thrown myself into it, and I think anybody who's a Toastmaster will be able to get up and do stand-up comedy. It is nervous the first few times you do it. I've done it 40 times now, so I'm a little less nervous, and I've learnt along the way. Things that I didn't think would be funny to people, you just learn, and I get to watch hundreds of comics by going to shows every week. You just go, write your name on a bit of paper, put it in the bucket. You get called out, you get 3, 4, 5 minutes. Sometimes I might get 10 minutes. And it's really just things that you learn and just try. For instance, the opening line I used tonight about Glenn Robbins. I was sitting in the audience, bless you, I was sitting in the audience one night, and this guy said to me, "Hey, what are you doing here, Glenn Robbins?" And a few people laughed. I didn't think I looked like him, but I tried that the very next time I got up to speak, and people laughed, and it just developed. And anybody can learn to do stand-up comedy. I started with nothing, and I've got these 3 massive spreadsheets that, and I have, Michael's seen them, he'll attest to that. And I just record everything that I learn from the internet when I'm watching those videos. I record each one of my jokes that I do into a spreadsheet. I've got one spreadsheet for jokes that I'm developing. And it might just be an observation of something that I see. It might not be a joke yet, but I know something funny is going to come out of it. And really what I've learned is you can take anything and make it funny. It just takes some work and some time. And once you start to get your mindset in of looking at something from a different angle, that becomes easier. And once I've delivered a joke, I have a rating from 1 to 10, how funny I thought it was, and how funny I thought the audience thought it was. And that just helps me. I record every joke that I tell. I record the date and time, the date and place that I delivered that joke. So if I'm going back to the same venue, I don't necessarily do the same joke 40 times. But I'm always trying to write new ones. I'm developing it. I keep a track, a version of each of the jokes, so I know what I changed. Now it sounds very analytical, and it is. So any IT people, any accountants, you'd be perfect for stand-up comedy. You really would. And I think anybody can do it, because I've seen people from all walks of life come to deliver stand-up comedy, from all cultures, all backgrounds. And sometimes it's just the simple things. There was this one guy that came in one night and he had me in stitches. He was just talking about going to the rubbish bin and fighting with the spider webs, And that's relatable, and you can start laughing. And then he talked about his name. And he's got an Italian name, Mario. And so he said everybody wants him to think he drives a go-kart, and he just starts to go on with this sort of stuff. And once you're in one of these venues and people want to laugh, there are so many little things that can make it funny. So who thinks they'd like to try stand-up comedy? Look at all that. I think you should do it. And I've challenged, I made a pact with some of my colleagues and friends at Just for Laughs Toastmasters, which I started back in 2016. And in the first few years, occasionally we get a stand-up comedian there, and they come and they deliver some things and tell us a little bit. And it got better, but I made a pact about 2 years ago with some of my colleagues, let's go and do it. And none of them lived up to the pact. So last year I said, stuff it, I'm going to do it. And I did, and I'm so glad that I did it. I've even challenged myself further. I've published every one of the stand-up comedy shows that I've done, whether it's 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, on YouTube to share with my family and friends, so I hold myself to account. And so I can come back and see the improvement. My plan and objective is to do an instructional video from a beginner's perspective. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of videos out there from professionals. But I want to do one from a beginner's perspective on the things I learned. And it's been so helpful to Toastmasters' journey as well. Just simple things like being comfortable when you tell a joke and nobody laughs, being able to stay in silence. Coming up with a lot of throwaway lines in response to not getting laughed at. One example is, I love that quiet time between my jokes. When the audience is thinking, why doesn't he say something funny? And I'm thinking, I've told them my funny ones, why aren't they laughing? So it's just developing these things and trying them out, see how the audience reacts. But I hope you enjoyed tonight, and I'll have a form, I'll put it over there, you can put your name and email address down, and I'll send you a link, several links to videos that I thought were great. Thank you.
David was once in a speech contest and he lost his spot. He really did, and he had to sit down. When they interviewed him, he said, I really love the 1 minute silence, but I need to learn not to put it in the middle of my speech.